I think something that really kind of like grinds me up a little bit is whenever I see these conversations when it comes to the physical intervention of dealing with a kid, right? Because I feel like the internet operates on one of two extremes. You either can never, ever, or some people are just so abrasive you have to physically intervene for everything when it comes to a kid, right? But what I never see folks talking about, and it could just be how the internet is working and how algos are working, but one thing I never see that ever gets brought up is just the nuance when physical intervention is appropriate. And notice the phrasing, physical intervention. I'm not saying hit the kid. I'm not saying spank them. I'm not saying, be overly permissive and let them do whatever they want and then try to explain in a therapeutic kind of sense when they're screaming in the middle of the store. It's crazy because when I was little, and I'm one of four boys, so one of us was cutting up in the store. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the thing is my mom never hoisted us up and grabbed us by the belt loops and dragged us out the store. But I'll tell you what, there was a couple times where, we were grabbed by the arm and we were dragged out the store. Like, listen, you can be acting like any way you want. And it's just like the restaurants, right? I saw this debate happen a couple months ago on TikTok talking about kids in the restaurants and stuff like that. And I think that comes to this whole topic of physical intervention with kids. Sometimes you got to take your kid out of there. But some people think that there's the picture associated with that is, just flailing with a cat of nine tails. Or just letting your kid run all over the restaurant, run all over the tables, etc., etc. But I mean, do those types of parenting exist? For sure. But does that mean that that's how things go the majority of the time in real life? I don't think so. But it's whenever we see things depicted to us on the internet, it makes us think that parenting only operates in two modes, which it really doesn't most of the time. I will allege, though, that I wish parents would be a little more involved with their kids, but that's neither here nor there. We're just talking literally about physical intervention. But yeah, I mean, look, there's no manual on being a parent. There's no manual on life itself. But I've seen examples on both sides of the aisle. So I don't know.